What the fuck is up, everybody? Welcome back to DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex, and probably the most sore still. Chemical Corpse and Power Trip. I'm not feeling that still.
Yeah.
But I'm here with the mighty 3/4 Exhortation.
Yeah, that's the one.
Hello.
I guess. Don't need a gun to get respect on the street.
So, guys, introduce yourselves and what you do in the band, please.
Okay. There you go.
My name is Jordan Rosser. I do the vocals and I do songwriting, lyrics, all that good stuff.
My name is Isaac, and I play drums and handle business.
Yeah.
I'm Seth, and I play guitar, and I make sure that everyone else in the band doesn't rip each other apart.
That's right.
The mediator, the
Yes,
middleman.
absolutely.
Yep, pretty much.
Alright guys, for the last time this year, I need you to get out your pins and your feathers and your ink cap thing that costs like $15 nowadays. Because we're going to get into the history of Exhortation. So boys, how did this roller coaster start?
Do you want to take this?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can take this. Back in 2014, there was a band, a local band called Scourge. No, I should have. And it wasn't. They played 2 shows. One was at a park, and in Cleburne, and me and Jordan had some perpetual beef for a while. It was in high school, so we were youngins. We had some beef, and their drummer quit, and so he asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, I guess, whatever. I'll do him a favor. And so I joined up. We played 1 show at the Rail Club, broke up like the next week. It was like that was it. Time to retire.
Because who else quit?
Well, when the band started, it was whenever Scourge started or whatever. It was me. I played bass and did vocals. No, we didn't decide that until later. And then my cousin Austin, who has the same hair as me, he played guitar. And we had our friend Ian on drums, and just whoever. Actually, our first guitarist Hayden was doing rhythm guitar then as well. And then it was kind of like me and my cousin's project. And then whenever he decided that he was out of it after the show at the Rail Club, I was just like, okay, well, then I'm not doing this anymore because this is like an us thing, and now that's not doing it. And so I just I know Isaac was talking about the project that he'd been trying to get started with Seth and Spencer, that they had recorded some tunes or whatever. And so I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I want to check that out. And so I just got to know all of them.
How bad was that show at the Rail Club? Everyone's like,
It
was
actually not that bad.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't awful.
Yeah, it went well.
We played with Reaper Crew.
Yeah, Reaper.
We played with Reaper Crew, and they opened that show.
Reaper Crew.
Yeah, we went on after them, and we were like, what?
Reaper Crew need to be on this podcast when I bring back.
Yeah, Reaper Crew's fun. I like Reaper Crew. They're a bunch of good guys. I like them. They're fun. So we played that show, and then just like a week or 2 later, Austin was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore, and I was like,
I'm retired.
That's cool. Yeah, well, all right, whatever.
We did it once, and then
Yeah.
That was it for it.
And so I just kept hanging out with Isaac, and then things just went from there because I got introduced to Spencer and then Seth, and
so basically both bands.
the leftovers.
Exhortation joined with Scourge.
Yeah, because Hayden and I were still in Scourge or whatever, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna go with these guys. And we needed a rhythm guitarist whenever we started, and so I was like, hey Hayden, I know you still play and you want to do that, so let's do that. And then Hayden came into the fold, and it was all 5 of us. And I had to give up bass because Spencer is an amazing bass player, and I don't really like playing bass and singing at the same time. So
Understandable.
yeah, it's complicated.
My bass is the same exact way.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time I actually heard you guys was actually in the DFW local support group. I don't know which one of you shared it, but it was when Seeds of Ruin, y'all released it.
Oh yeah.
Here.
Okay.
And I listened to it. I was at my friend's house before we were gonna go take a walk to the Pokemon Go, and I'm like, hold up, I need to listen to this because the name Exhortation is cool. And I just played it. I'm like, oh my god, this is great, dude, this is so cool. And for the longest, I was trying to make your shows. I was literally about to make Holiday Hate, but then I had to work.
Oh yeah.
It was the worst.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I remember you guys were on the cusp of releasing your album or I believe it was already released when y'all were doing that show. And I remember you saying, "God, this is a tough crowd." I'm like, "What?
Oh, yeah.
That crowd don't know what they talking about."
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like,
That was a tough show. Like,
yeah, it's just
and we threw down too. Like, it wasn't like a.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands
Bad
and
show.
a lot of different genres. There's a lot of metalcore bands, a lot of beatdown bands, and that's always been the hardest crowd for us to play in front of. Is like beatdown stuff.
Yeah.
Because we cross genres pretty well in some areas, but we've never touched into that, and so that I remember that being like a super difficult show.
Well, it's funny because for the most part, when I see posts in the DFW local support page, it seems like about 60-65% of it is coming from more that scene, like the hardcore and beatdown scene. If you want like a more like metal like community, DFW Metal Underground seems like that's the place that has like more metal. But I find it interesting because if I had to classify you guys like a genre, forgive me if y'all hate that, I would definitely put y'all in the same group with us as one of the very few like thrash bands in the scene. And so what impresses me about you guys is that unlike most of the other thrash bands, us included, y'all play a lot of diverse shows. I mean, I know Electric Vengeance will do like punk shows,
Right.
Chemicals will definitely be in like some Texas Death Metal Fest and whatnot like that. But I mean, y'all have played with just about every genre.
Yeah,
that's like,
yeah, for sure.
You know, and it shows because in that DFW local support group, I've always seen nothing but great praise from y'all. And I mean, I got the album. I forgot when it came in the mail, but I did get it. I listened to it.
Right.
I did definitely like it a lot. So it's really cool to see like a local thrasher,
Right.
like, local fellow thrasher, like get that good reputation in a community that I think we would have a very hard time connecting to.
Yeah, for sure.
It is difficult. I don't know. I think a lot of what we do is just trying to figure out how we would, like, I don't know. It sounds it's a strange way to market yourself because, like, yeah, we love playing thrash stuff. Thrash stuff is cool, but like we also really like metalcore type stuff, and so like the community is kind of divided into two paradigms. Like you have the group that's really focused on the more beatdown, hardcore, like more metalcore stuff. You know, bands like the Human Experiment and so on and so forth, like all that type of stuff. And then the band's more in like the old school, like kind of sect, where like you have your older audience that's more into like
Interment, gruesome phase.
yeah, exactly. And so like, I think one thing we really try to do is like find a niche in both of those groups, like somewhere in the middle. And so, you know, you got people that are gonna be like, man, like I really love the thrashy stuff, but whenever you guys start like doing the beatdown and the death growls and stuff, like what? You know, like some people aren't really into that, and then vice versa. Some people are like, why do you thrash? Like,
Right.
so it's a weird dynamic to try and please both audiences.
I know that was because I remember I did an album review on your timeline a long time ago, and I was one of those people, you know, at first where like, yeah, you know, like y'all guys thrash out really good. I'm not as sold on the core stuff, but I dig it, and I respect the fact that you guys trying out. I listened to the album a little bit more. I've grown more appreciative of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought of it. It was like it would kind of need time for people to like really get what we're trying to do with it. And that sounds pretentious as hell. It really does.
No, that's fine.
It does. It sounds like super like, oh, well, you just don't get it. But
yeah,
like,
it's too abstract for you.
yeah, but like I don't know. We really like both types of the sound, and so like it's all about just trying to figure out like we want to make the music that we aren't hearing enough of. You know.
Yeah.
So it's like if I want a good like thrash record, you know, like you put in like Sodom or Creator or you know like anything like that, but they don't have those types of breakdowns that we like all go ham to, you know. And so we were like, man, like we want to sound like Sodom, but we also really like the more heavy stuff, like the more heavy stuff, the breakdowns and whatnot. And so like trying to figure out a way to do both at the same time. And
I know how you feel there.
yeah, that could be a bad idea. Time will tell. But
No, I mean, if anything, I personally think that showing more colors is a good thing.
Right.
Like, hey, like a good example is like not everybody is going to like Mike Patton, right? But Mike Patton has a vocal range that can literally connect with anyone.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the advantage that I see you guys having is that you can get on a bill with the Human Experiment
Right.
You can, but at the same and have a good turnout and probably get a good reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you guys can also come in a show with us and like Chemicost,
Yeah, for sure.
and you can still probably get that same exact thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just like with our catalog, we're in a cool spot to where we can kind of, to some degree, pick and choose songs on what the show is like. So we can play slower, more groovy stuff for the more metalcore shows, and then for like the house show, we're just gonna be thrashing the entire time. So just like, I don't know, we're just really, I don't know, it's a cool spot to be in. It's a different spot to be in because it can be so divisive. But I'd rather be a band that is trying to push our sound and trying to push our idea of what we want to be as an artist, instead of just be like, oh, let's just go riff, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's actually what Electric Vision said. First time I had them on, like way back, like earlier this year, because they are like they're thrash, but they have a lot of punk elements in them too.
Sure.
So I asked them, like, is it hard when you have to try to prove that you're just as metal as metal bands and just as punk as the punk bands? And they're like, we don't care.
Right.
It's perfect because they don't. I mean, and they still get a good reception.
Yeah.
They just released their second album. Buy it. It's great. But getting off from that, going to y'all have, as I said, released your debut album late last year, Ashland Messiah.
Yes,
So let's go into that. How was the process for writing that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out the company that helped you out with it.
Yeah, Alder
mixed it.
State. Yeah, there's Zach and Alex Goodenough, Alder State Productions. They play for a band called Golgotha. They're the best. They're so good.
Best band around. Bottom line.
But
I love them. I am so
good.
angry that
fun to
they're
get ready to put out there.
Yeah, like, okay, so we went in to record our album, I guess this is kind of tied into it, and they were finishing up their album at the same time, and we went in to record March 10th of last year, and they had it done, and it hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And we heard it, it was great, it sounded
Yeah,
fantastic, but yeah, it hasn't come out yet, so that needs to happen, that needs to come out. Alex, Zach, if you're watching it, just put it out already.
There's so many of that. There's so many instances of that too.
Yeah.
It stinks. Like it's really good. Like I have Jacob in the band now from Exploder, and they have something ready. It just hasn't come out. I'm like, Jacob, come on!
Just release it, man. Just put it on SoundCloud or something.
Yeah. But yeah, we started recording back in March of 2016. As far as writing goes, I wrote almost all of the songs over the course of like a week. I don't know. It was my senior year in high school, and I don't know if I was having like an existential crisis or what was going on, but I just wanted to write. And so for like a week, I sat down, I wrote Zealotry, As Babylon Burns, We Wrote Between, and then just like all of the other songs, Ashland Messiah, the title track, and The Adversary, which I'd been sitting on for a while. And Seeds I wrote actually right after we got done recording our first EP back in August of 2015. And so like, some of these songs were older, but a lot of them I made in the course of like 5 days.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of, listened to them, thought which ones sounded cool, which ones we wanted to put on a full length. I'm not really sure why we wanted to go with a full length. In hindsight, we probably wouldn't have. Just because of the sheer cost and the amount of like work that has to go into it. Like we had no idea what we were getting into,
For sure.
and like all of the marketing and all of the everything that goes involved with releasing a full album is insane. Like we weren't prepared for.
Yeah, we had no idea what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
We just put out an EP that altogether was like $400 to release, that type of thing.
Yeah, like
and
nothing.
And then we go and we record a full length. And we start recording in March, and then
We didn't finish until July.
Yeah, recording finishes in July. And
yeah, there were a lot of.
it was a lot of money. It was a lot of time, and like I said, in hindsight, probably would have done the full length. But it was a really cool learning experience, and it was really cool just to see how we were able to jive in that type of situation.
Yeah, a lot of bands will normally, because I know a couple of examples of bands that will like try to just like get in and just like smash like all the drumming in like a day or something.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy to me, God, I feel bad for anyone who has to do that.
Right.
But still, it can get crazy expensive. I did talk figures with somebody one time. We're definitely not ready anytime soon.
Yeah,
we
it's
still
enough,
want,
man.
because we still want to play more.
Oh yeah.
But like before we sit down or anything. But but having it out, even though in hindsight you still probably wouldn't have done it, but still just having it out, isn't there a sense of like, dude, did we have this?
Oh, yeah.
This is,
Yeah, it's our baby for sure.
Whenever
Yeah.
I talk to people that I'm introducing them to the band and like people I work with, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in a band. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. You got any stuff? I'm like, iTunes or whatever. Like, yeah, we have 2 albums on Spotify.
Yeah, it's
Spotify,
iTunes, Google, everything.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, and that reminds me, something really cool. Okay, so my dad was just telling me this last night.
Right.
So my dad is a really big reader and he reads a lot of stuff. And then one of his good friends is the New York Times 26-time #1 bestseller, I think.
Dang.
Sherilyn Kenyon.
Oh yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. He just happened. And he was telling me this earlier today.
Oh wow.
He's at a writers convention with her in North Dallas right now.
Oh, that's cool.
And she was telling me, or he was telling me that he was showing her some of our music.
Oh yeah.
Because she likes to listen to this kind of stuff. She likes to listen to metal stuff because it helps with her writing when she's doing more intense stuff, I guess.
That's cool.
And he said that he was playing Ashland for the song, and she was like, "This sounds really familiar." And he was like, "Oh yeah, sure, whatever." I'm sure it does sound familiar, but no, she's like, "No, this sounds really familiar." She's starts humming along to it,
Oh no.
and she opens up her phone and goes through her music on iTunes, and she has Ashland and Seeds of Ruin and one of an Oracle, I think.
Wow.
She downloaded
Oh my God!
Yes, which is insane. Because this woman, like I said, is a 26-time best-selling author.
Yeah, so you buy our music,
She's
you
got a
become
movie in the works. She's got a
selling
TV
author.
series in the works. It's
awesome.
That's cool.
crazy.
That's really cool.
That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Thanks for not telling us.
Yeah.
Dude!
No.
Crazy.
It's just cool to be able to have that, and it's just we're so overly ambitious as a band. Just it's not even healthy for us how ambitious.
Yeah, we're depressed.
For you, definitely.
We're depressed all the
Me.
time.
Such a downer.
It's we set the bar way up here, and then whenever we only get 60% there,
You're
which
like,
is still
fuck,
yeah,
we
which is
just
still
found.
we
We did.
break
That's
amazing
it.
ground.
That's
and we
my
do a
other
lot of
role in the
cool
band.
things. Yeah.
Keeping these guys from spiraling into depression.
Yeah, that's his job.
Who's too
That's Tony.
Yeah. Didn't bring in 35 because we brought in 27.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, that's pretty much
We
it.
only sold 3 tickets past the minimum we needed to sell.
Oh god, that's so
That's
really.
it.
like the other day, we were complaining because we were like, oh, the album only has 18,000 streams.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
We're we need to get to 20,000 before a year's up, and we're just
Yeah, I was super pissed the other day because we only had 18,000 streams.
Uh,
I was so mad.
God damn it.
I was like, no, it should be 100,000. But it's just, I don't know. It's a cool thing being able to have full length out. And for me, it's even cooler having a full length out and knowing that it's not our best, if that makes sense.
that you are capable of much.
Yeah,
that this is definitely not the best that we're going to see.
Oh, not even. Not even.
I still love it though.
Yeah, it's just cool to me to see the reception from it and be able to watch people enjoy it or say, oh, this is pretty good, and to think to myself man, you don't have any idea. We're about the next step's gonna be awesome whenever that comes out.
Whenever we get around to recording it.
Yeah.
Especially right when after that album's done, you get, because I don't know about y'all, but when we released the demo, that little demo that we had for our debut show, had 4 songs on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Immediately after we released that and we played our debut show, I actually already I had to just fucking brain blast Jimmy Neutron.
Right.
Just went home and just wrote all these ideas down that I had. And now we're working on a new song with a new lineup. Well, at least bassist and 2 guitar players. But just working on new stuff. And people are oh yeah, the demo's great. I'm like, bro,
you don't know. Yeah.
Bro, you gonna find out next year.
Yeah, I think that's just the struggle of being a musician, though. It's everyone says that. It's because especially whenever you put so much time into either a full length or an EP, And you spend months getting ready to record it. So you write, and then you go and record it, and then you get everything, like all the marketing and stuff like that set up. And then by the time it comes out, you have like another 8 songs ready to put out.
Yeah.
And then you have to like, and you as soon like the day it comes out is pretty much the day Ashland came out. I was like, all right, sweet, let's think about the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While people were hearing it for the first time, I was like past it. I was like, well,
We were hearing it for the 100th time.
Yeah, and I think that's just a struggle any aspiring professional musician is going to go through. Because if you're really writing as much as you should be, then you're always going to be in that spot where you release something, and then you're like, all right, cool, next time it's going to be way cooler. It's just like a circular process, I suppose.
Exactly. So I guess next thing I want to get into is like inspirations, like bands or like musicians that inspire you guys individually. I hate always trying to say it this way. I can't find my way to say it. Like who like what band, like what artist like drives your sound, or what you want to do.
It's way different for each of
I
us.
say it's different for everyone.
I'm curious.
Selena!
I'm curious what. We actually have a lot of like pop and.
I love Selena.
There's a lot of like different influences that like I feel like we kind of have advantage with because it's not normal listening material for someone that's really into metal. Like I feel like the music we listen to, it could be very different from what maybe our fans or the people that listen to our music listen to normally. Like we like a lot. I like a lot of like sad boy music. Like the like really chill, laid back stuff, or like even like the more electronic stuff. There's a band named Future Unlimited. They're like super 80s like EDM type style, and I love that type of stuff. And but as far as like my metal influences go, back whenever I was writing Ashland, and even a little bit now, super into Creator. Creator's always been like my stable pin. Like if I come up with any ideas, I like to go to them for the reassurance, particularly Phantom Antichrist.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, like their new album, it's okay, but it's not Phantom Antichrist to me. I listened to their new album maybe a couple days, and then after that I was like, it's nothing new. Phantom Antichrist I can still go back and listen to on repeat and love it. But yeah, like the maturity of that album, that they're bringing in all these different influences themselves, like these neoclassical bits, the acoustic guitars, and like their riffing and the phrasing and all that type of stuff, and their lyrical content, like it's all very mature. And I strive to meet at least like that level of it. I try to envision myself in that position and like what I would write.
I remember when they came out with Enemy of God, and that album really pushed like this new explosive thing that they were trying to do. And man, they've just been on a roll there ever since, especially when like Dinner Hordes of Chaos came out.
Yeah.
God.
That's the thing. I love when they use clean vocals too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like that's another thing. Is like people give us crap about having clean vocals. And I'm like, man, like you either can do it and you use it, or you can't do it and you don't. Like, or I feel like if you can perform clean vocals well, there is no reason you shouldn't. And like play to all your strengths, because whenever you make a full length, especially, you want to have moments that are different. You want to avoid the 40-minute drone session where it's like the same thing over and over. It's like if a band thrashes really well, that's all well and good, but if they thrash well and good for 40 minutes straight, it's not gonna.
And then the next record that comes out 8 months later is
it's the same thing, I really like the variability, and so with that, a lot of different influences comes in.
The only reason why we don't do it is because I'm still learning.
That's fine. Yeah. I'm not saying that all bands have to do it. I'm just saying, I think I can sing decent, and I think Spencer sings decent. So like I feel like, well, there's skill there. Why aren't we utilizing it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is always good, because I like to incorporate a lot of things in what I do. Kind of my vocal inspiration is like Blake Milano, Kurt DRI, Bobby Blitz.
He's fun.
Yeah, like I just like to throw and Steve Souza, Exodus. I like to throw like My Die in like somewhere in the middle there.
Exodus is really good. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I want a new album from them already. Like, it's been
you guys were all
4 years,
over.
3 years.
Oh yeah.
It's been like
Blood In,
Blood Out. It was 2014.
Yeah.
So 3 years.
Yeah.
You guys were all over that.
Dude, that album rips. That album still rips.
So amazing.
Yeah.
It's growing on me.
Dude, Salt and Wind, when Salt and Wind came out.
Oh, yeah.
That intro. Oh my god. It made me want to just salt my
Yeah, like
scraps like
yeah.
popcorn. Oh!
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah, it's good.
Alright, good sir. What skin beater makes you want to skin beat harder?
The Matt trio, Matt Griner from August Burns Red, when I first started playing drums, he was a huge inspiration on me. Matt Garska for Animals as Leaders, because he's better than everybody. So
Yes.
he's just too good for his own good. And then Matt Halpern from Periphery is kind of like that. I had a lesson, I did a drum lesson with Matt Halpern years ago. It was like my third eye was awoken or something. It was really cool.
Jeez.
But as far as drummers that are closer to the style of the band, the new guy for Trivium, his name is Alex Bent.
Dude.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's
awesome.
good.
That new album is so good.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of.
New as in he's the last record they put out was his debut?
Yes.
Oh, okay, wow. Yeah, he did good.
Yeah, he played with Battlecross. He played with. I think he played with Archaic for a while. He's just like he's a shredder. As far as like other, I guess, metal guys would go, probably like. I was like the Dave Lombardo and all those heavy classics and stuff.
All the old dudes.
All the older guys.
Dad metal.
Yeah, all the dad metal drummers.
God damn it, I hate you.
So
I hate that
good.
term, but I love it at the same time.
And a lot of Ed Soph is was the jazz instructor for UNT for a while. He's awesome. There's a lot of jazz guys. Steve Gadd, Buddy Rich. I was a huge Buddy Rich fan for years.
My drummer loves Buddy Rich.
Yeah,
That's what he wanted.
he's just one of those guys. He's like the Eddie Van Halen of drums.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, Seth.
Well, as far as like what I listen to most often, it's a little different than what I play or what I'm like drawn to play whenever I actually pick up my guitar. Whenever I pick up my guitar, I find myself playing stuff more like overkill, just like straight up thrash stuff. But what I listen to more often, and like the guitarists that I like put on a pedestal, it's mainly Greg Burgess of Allegiant and David Davidson from Revocation. Those two guys are just so good at what they do.
yeah.
Like if I can approach even like half that level,
You'll be
just
good.
like
We
skill,
Revocation's
will be
last
set.
release was really good.
Oh yeah,
so-
all of Revocation and Allegiant both have, in my opinion, flawless discographies so far.
Oh yeah.
Like they're fairly small compared to like the older bands,
Yeah.
but like
They're definitely taking
Yeah.
steps in the right direction.
yeah, like Proponent for Sentience from Allegiant, what like we talked about earlier, is amazing.
God, yeah.
My personal favorite from Legion is Fragments, not Fragments, Elements of the Infinite, one with 1.618 on it.
Mhm.
It's so good, and the Revocation all the way through is just everything's just so good.
Yeah, that was a cool thing.
We actually bonded over Deathless.
Yeah.
It was like a big moment for us.
Oh yeah, but it was a cool thing. We last year we got to go play with Cannibal Corpse and Revocation and
Oh,
Nile
yeah.
on Summer Slaughter tour.
Wow.
Yeah,
We went down to Houston and opened that show, and it was probably the coolest thing. One of the coolest parts of being in the band was being able to go backstage and watch
And just,
Revocation play.
sit
It was
from
just,
front.
from side stage. It was just so cool, just seeing. I mean, it was packed. I mean, there's a ton of people there, and just seeing artists like that, just in their craft, and people that we had listened to. I mean, like we were in like high school listening to Revocation and stuff. So it was a really cool.
I remember
like,
the night you and I first heard
Yes.
Legion.
yeah,
We were at McDonald's,
Yes.
and they played on a Hard Time Radio, I think.
Mhm.
yeah.
Played 1.618.
I remember in high school when they released, I forgot what album they released, but I remember that there was like an intro they song to it called Enter the Hall.
Mhm.
Yes, I love that.
Right, Enter the Hall like blew my mind away. I was like,
Yes.
what? How is this
Right.
possible?
Yeah,
Oh,
this guy's shred.
going back, I'm very, very, very sorry that next week you have to play this and miss Periphery and Moses Leader.
This.
Inside you're like, oh!
No, I bought tickets.
No, I'm really looking forward to playing. Like, this is our first house show, so like we're really looking
Well,
forward
it's
to just.
crazy, because like, I mean like, you guys seem like you would have a really good vibe at house parties.
I know, that's why we're so excited.
That's what we're doing. It. Yeah, that's really.
Exactly. Put us on more house shows.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a thing where I've been reaching out to people for a while, and
Mhm.
there's like a lot of things in the industry. You get a lot of I'll let you know. And then a lot of nothing.
Yeah, I don't like dumb doers, dude.
Yes.
Like I let people know, like, cause like I've always tried to make sure when I say I'm doing something, it's gonna happen. Like Skull Archer will play at this show, and if we don't, it tears me up inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. With this podcast, I kind of beat myself a little bit when I said I want to do album reviews of like local bands. I'll post them on the Facebook group.
Yeah.
I mean on the Facebook page, like weekly. Like, I'll just pick a random album and review it.
Of course.
And I beat myself up on it because I couldn't do it because work picked up a lot.
Yeah.
And so I had to limit myself. Like, such a failure. Why I do this?
Right.
But these guys are the closing band for the house party. Again, the lineup is phenomenally diverse and all around badass. We have Apophis 2036, Beer Break, Black Chamber, Blasphemous Goat Vomit. Yes, Blasphemous
That's so
Goat
metal.
Vomit.
Oh my god.
Well, when you meet the guys and you talk to them, just ask them where the name came from.
Okay.
And
absolutely.
you are going to be the best story ever.
Awesome. I'm so excited.
Well, I mean with Colby, you'll get everything because Colby is like Colby's like is kind of like our Dave Grohl.
Right.
He's doing everything with everybody.
For
He just
sure.
never stops. He's like a school teacher.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Like
It's
just
a
doing.
really hardcore school teacher.
And then finally after them is these ultimate badasses. The show will be here at Archer headquarters on November 18th, 7 p.m. It is a BYOB 420 friendly event. Just bring $5 like I'm going to a Taco Costa cup, and we're good to go. This will actually be the last episode of the podcast for this year, because I do want to work and make major improvements to the podcast, get a lot better equipment for it, and so I don't have to tell everyone the projector voices from a living room couch with UFC posters in the background for some reason. So look forward to that. Look forward to this house party that you should totally come to. I will bring this podcast back the first Saturday of January. Don't know what the exact day is, please don't hold that against me. After this show, all the proceeds that I make from this party will go into opening up a promotional company where I will book shows at venues for bands and just be another guy to help get the word out. Let everyone know that we have a great scene, and just make magic happen. Every band that has me playing this party has been on this podcast because they're right here, right now. And I bring all these bands on for good reason. I'm super happy that all these bands are involved, and it's just going to be one hell of a time. Catch us out there. Please come out, watch these guys. They're badass. I only saw them one time live, and it is a crime that I haven't seen them more. So the best thing to do is just bring them over.
It's gonna be fun.
So guys, one EP out, one album out, crazy good support from a lot of different reaches. What do you have to say to everyone who has been there and bought the album, came out to shows, giving you constructive criticism when needed? What do you say to all those people?
I say keep it coming.
Yeah, please.
More.
Yeah,
Please.
talk to me.
Absolutely.
Send me memes.
Yeah.
Send memes.
Send more constructive criticism.
Criticize us more,
Tell us we
please.
suck.
Yeah, tell us we're bad. Spit on us.
Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The whole hoopla.
Dog shit in a bag at the front porch.
Yeah, whatever helps us get the motivation to get better.
Yeah. So just keep being you, and we'll do our best to just keep being us.
Yeah.
And hopefully it can.
Hopefully it'll work out.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll all work out. Hopefully this will all be over soon.
Awesome. Well, guys, I greatly appreciate you guys coming on the show. Remember to come to the house party next week. I cannot say it enough times. These guys absolutely shred, and you would be a damn fool to miss it. Animals as leaders in Periphery will come again because it's Dallas. They're gonna come again. You're not gonna see a house party lineup like this. Not in a very long time. Not unless I do it more often.
Yeah,
Which I will. I will. But as I said, all the money that I make from this will go straight into opening up this promotion company so that I can put these guys in Reno's or Wits End or wherever, and along with anyone else too. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. Enjoy that holiday season. I will see you again in 2018.
Peace.